Good morning, everybody. It's Serafina, and I'm here with your daily tarot and astro insight. So yesterday we had the last conjunction between Mars and Venus. And what was important about this last conjunction is that it was at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which means that they've been traveling in Capricorn together, sometimes meeting up, sometimes, getting a little bit distant, but then they gathered together again and they entered Aquarius together. This is not very common in astrology. And what this means is that they're starting this new phase together, right? This masculine, this feminine are like entering the Aquarian sign together. And that is also important to notice where Aquarius lies in your own chart. What we can say about this at a collective level is that we're going to be attracting different types of connections and networks towards ourselves, right? If Venus is all about relationships and magnetizing things, and Mars is all about exerting our will towards things, then that means that the way we approach certain social aspects, the way we approach how we envision global things or our place within humanity is going to change as we open up to our horizons, we open up to new ideas. Another important thing to notice is that this 0 degrees of Aquarius was the exact same degree where Jupiter and Saturn had their conjunction in December of 2020, which a lot of people are denoting as like the beginning of the age of Aquarius. I'm going to leave that up to your own discretion if that is true or not. But what I can say is that this 0 degrees of Aquarius is really significant. It's really it's another activation point, right? And one more thing I wanted to note about this transit is that right now Mars and Venus enter together, but Venus is going to start moving faster, which means that she's going to leave Mars behind and she's going to be heading towards Saturn. Saturn and Mars are known as malefics in ancient astrology. Malefics doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad, but they bring things that are a bit more difficult, right? And so Venus is going to literally be enclosed, so this is called an enclosure, by the two malefics. So that means that there could be certain Venusian aspects about our life that are going to be just a little bit more difficult. So one more thing I wanted to note is that we are heading into the full moon in Virgo. And so any themes regarding the Virgo part of our chart are going to start bubbling up right now as the moon is waxing, right? And so I just wanted to remind people the importance of knowing your ascendant sign. Because when you know your ascendant sign, you know how the houses are distributed in astrology, and then we can know what specific themes are going to be important for you with every transit, really. So I think I'll just be making another video on the importance of the ascendant in your chart and how you can find that out on your own online for free. Okay, let's move into the tarot cards. So I would like to call upon the spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally. I would like to call upon the spirits of this land and of this ocean and of this island, and I thank them for holding their space and for their ancient wisdom. And I would like to call upon my ancestors, archangels, higher self, and team of light. And I thank you for your guidance and presence with this reading. Okay, so beloved spirit of the universe, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? What loving guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Two of Wands. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Eight of Swords. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Queen of Swords. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to pick one more card to complement. What further guidance is there for the collective today? I want to pull again. What further guidance is there for the collective today? Whoa, okay. We have soul work. Okay. So, we're starting off with the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands comes right after the spark of initiation from the Ace of Wands. And here this person is looking out into the world, literally into the world. It's in their hands. And they're like relying on their creativity. Two is balance, right? One divides into two, so there's a counterpart. So this indicates a time when we are still contemplating how to continue forward with certain plans, with certain visions, with certain manifestations that we want to bring into our lives. Perhaps we're waiting for a response from someone. But ultimately it's saying that we have the world at our hands, and maybe it's a time for being diligent, for planning a little bit ahead before we continue on with our creative endeavors. We have the Eight of Swords, which, as I've mentioned various times before, it's us being kind of like trapped in mental cycles and mental paradigms that don't serve us well. And as we notice, she is blindfolded here, and little did she know that if she just leans up against one of these swords, she'll be able to break free, and she won't be flooded by this water, by the tide that's coming in, and she'll be safe back home, right? And so it just denotes of a time where we are perhaps creating more problems than what there actually is in our life right now. And this could be influenced to us planning and envisioning our future. Something that I've noticed these last couple of days or more that I've been talking to certain people is that people are feeling like untethered. They're feeling kind of like ungrounded, and they're feeling like, oh, I just don't know how to continue, or where to put my energy, or where to put my force, like where's my North Star right now. And I just wanted to remind people that we're in Pisces season, and Pisces season is very much about that. It's about being okay in these liminal and transient places, right? Not only that, but Mars, who determines a lot of our will, was in Capricorn, and it's exalted in Capricorn, and it just moved into Aquarius. So it doesn't mean that it's like bad, but it just means that Mars is going to lose a little bit of its lust, a little bit of its like ability to power through things, right? So this is just what it's reminding me of, because Piscean energy is very floaty, it's very untethered, and so maybe allowing ourselves to be okay in this unknowingness, right? So perhaps lots of us are looking towards the rest of this year, towards the rest of this month. It's the beginning of a week, it's the beginning of a month, and spring is coming up. So we have lots of fire, lots of creative passion, lots of what we want to see in the world. We're having big plans, but we may be feeling that we have certain restrictions, maybe restrictions outside of ourselves, like some of us can't travel. Some of us don't even want to travel, even if we can. Some of us are feeling, online presence a little bit difficult, or interacting with community members a little bit difficult. So there could be certain limitations that we feel that we have, but ultimately the Queen of Swords is here to tell me that we're going to find clarity around this. The Queen of Swords could also represent somebody in our life who is an air sign, who could come and give us a good idea, could come and give us guidance, kind of like a mentor type thing. But it could also just represent us being in a state. If you notice, there's cloudiness from here down, and then from here up it's all clear. It's a clear sky, and we even have a bird in there, right? So it's the Queen of Swords is somebody who knows very well how to balance her emotions with her thoughts, and she's very unapologetic in the way that she gives her message. She's very clear at setting boundaries, but she's still very loving, right? So if it were to be like this, I would say she can be manipulative, and maybe even using her words for hurting other people. The Queen of Swords upright, she doesn't do that. So it can also indicate just finding a new sense of clarity within ourselves regarding whatever it is that's, that we feel that is constricting us, and it's not really constricting us. And then funnily enough, we have the Nine of Pentacles here. The Nine of Pentacles, as I mentioned before, is a card of sovereignty. It's a card of like genuine independence. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't have people around her that she doesn't rely on or is interdependent on. But here she's like in her garden of abundance, and she even has like, I've heard that this is like a falcon. It's a falcon, and so this is being able to focus. Being able to focus clearly on her objectives. So it could be that what is asked of us is that meanwhile we're planning and envisioning our future, our creative endeavors, knowing that spring is coming up and that summer is coming up and we're going to go be, out and active, to be able to have a longer range of focus, right? Because, we are sovereign, we are able to feed into this independence that we have, no matter if we have a partner around us or not. And, I even like to think, if we have enough to share, if our garden is full and we have enough to share, to make sure to make our tables longer, not our walls higher, right? And then this was all clarified by the soul work card. And this even brings me back to what I just said about us being able to, be abundant in our own garden, but making sure that we're working within the greater collective of knowing that, our little contribution to whatever it is that we're passionate about, whatever it is that we bring to the world, is actually part of the greater tapestry of our community and humanity at large. So I'm going to read from this particular card. Sometimes while we're navigating our day-to-day life, we can lose sight of our highest purpose in this earthly realm. This card asks you once again to check in with your soul purpose. It is not possible to be derailed from your soul path, no matter where you are, but clarity does help us show up for it in a more intentional way. Sit with these questions. What are you here to teach? What are you here to learn? What stirs your heart? Spend time reflecting upon your soul mission and how you can integrate it into your life. And so the animal associated with this, or the insect, is bee. The tree is aspen, and the gemstone is diamond. It says, contrary to popular belief, diamonds are not created from coal. They come from the earth's deepest depths and are produced by the intense heat of volcanoes and cosmic collisions. Our soul work often appears to us in the same way. It is unearthed over time, born from experiences of fire. From your experiences, what message has connected them all? What diamond of wisdom has revealed itself to you? Call on diamond and as an ally of transformation in the alchemical process of making your soul's work manifest. A question that I really liked here is that it says, from your experiences, what message has connected them all? And the first time I was asked this question was when I went to do a soul regression therapy, where I went to past lives. And what this therapist helped me realize is that, the messages or the lessons that connect not only most of the difficulties that I've had during this lifetime, it's kind of like a thread. It's a thread that connects my main purpose of being here, right? Because the struggles or the obstacles we have is very much related to our dharma or our soul work of what we're here to do. And not only is it in this lifetime, but it's also been prevalent in past lifetimes. And so there's kind of like this overarching theme that we all have as our souls keep on, reincarnating and raising consciousness. So let's bring this back to earth. Let's bring this back to here, and what it said about, maybe losing focus, as this card indicated. And it's funny because I was just talking about the focus with the falcon, right? Of being able to be independent and recognizing that there is a focus that we need to have here, and the importance of being able to envision ourselves in the greater scheme of things while still paying attention to our daily activities. And before continuing forward in the suit of wands, in our creative endeavors and our fiery passions, being able to plan things out a little bit better. because there may be some things that we're not seeing yet. There may be some limitations that are out there that we could probably work through right now. And we're probably going to find some clarity around that. I really feel that some of us are going to receive a message, particularly from someone or somewhere, an email, in a conversation. And the Queen of Swords is here to bring that clarity to us, or to remain integral to our own values, to remain integral to what we already knew, and just finding a new depth of clarity around that, if I explain myself properly. It's like saying, oh, I already knew that. But once you hear it from somewhere else, or you see it somewhere else, the message just drops deeper into our heart, into our knowing. Okay, I feel like picking one more card. It's going to be from the White Light Oracle. So, beloved Spirit of the Universe, what further guidance is there today for the collective? We have the Spirit Owl, number 20, which is quite... it's spot on for here because there's a lot of owls recently that I've been seeing. I hear them at night. Okay, so it says Spirit Owl of 852 Hertz. Recalibration to a higher order of divine purpose is in progress. It is not always a smooth ride, but it is safe to be fearless as you gently hold space for new ways of thinking, living, and seeing to emerge. You are encouraged to let go of opinions and belief systems that cannot support your higher frequency states. You shall soon recognize a truth that cuts through confusion and frees you to proceed with love, peace, and higher understanding. Well, sometimes it still amazes me at how accurate these cards can be with the interpretation that was just given of the cards, right? So it speaks of a higher order of divine purpose, right, is in progress. It's not always going to be a smooth ride, but it's safe for you to be fearless and hold space for new ways of thinking and living and seeing to emerge. You're encouraged to let go of opinions and belief systems, and you shall soon recognize a truth that cuts through confusion and frees you to proceed with love and peace. And it also speaks of focus, right? So the Spirit Owl is a wisdom bearer, the one who perceives the intended meaning, underlying words, and the truth behind appearances. Even in darkness, Spirit Owl senses subtle movements with accuracy. The heightened senses of Spirit Owl are akin to the supernatural perception of the higher self. Your higher self sees through illusion and with compassion. It astutely recognizes the agendas of the ego and tunes into the empowering energies of the universe to find a constructive way to express its loving purpose. Spirit Owl enhances your connection to your higher self, guiding you beneath the compelling nature of appearances, where a vastly different and spiritually empowering perspective is available to you. So, basically it's saying to be able to have this higher perspective towards our life. Being able to see through the veil or the illusions of appearances and knowing that we are actually elevating frequency, and that you shall soon recognize a truth that cuts through confusion and frees you to proceed with love. So I feel that, yeah, many of us are planning things, and there is going to be a truth that's going to be revealed to us as we focus on our longer term goals, on our own sovereignty, on our own independence, because we're going to be breaking through these mental patterns and working on our soul, working on our true dharma, on what we're really here to do. And I encourage some of you to investigate a little bit more about owls if you haven't already. Yeah, so this is the reading for today. I hope that this was useful to you, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Bye.